Welcome to the Twat-Face podcast. That's the world according to football and cheese experts. Evening, Phil.
Evening, Mike. Another warm one.
Yes, how are you getting on in your little sweatbox of a recording studio?
I'll need a hydration break in a minute, but
I'll boo you, don't worry.
No change there then. So, we've had another round of games in the group. Mike, are you ready for some catching up with some of our previous guests?
Yes, let's see what's going on.
We're going to start with England. And first up, we've got Callum Thompson joining us for his thoughts.
Hi guys, hope you're all okay. Callum checking in here and looking back at England's performance against Ghana. And what can be said about it? It won't be a World Cup campaign without a little trepidation. And God forbid, if we are going to win it, in the words of Van Morrison, there will be days like this. I was always brought up to credit the opposition when it's deserved, and Ghana really did stick to their game plan. It wasn't pretty on the eye, but the Black Stars found a way, and they'll be happy with that point. That's not to say England didn't have their chances. O'Reilly going agonisingly close with his header, and on another day, Harry Kane's burying his chance in the box. I do think the keep calm mentality needs to be in place over Panama. Everything is still in our hands, and I would fully expect the three Lions to overcome them. Come on, England, give us a goal.
So we've also got Nikolai as well joining us to discuss England as well as a bit of Belgium.
Hello, this is Nikolai here, talking about England and Belgium. It has been a frustrating week for football for me, for different reasons. Both matches, though, were 0-0. Belgium's, I don't know how that ended up being a 0-0 game. It was insane. Courtois made two very good saves, and Iran just held out, and Belgium were just not good enough. And till my dying day, I do absolutely not think that that was a red card offence, mainly because I don't think it was a foul. I think if that happened on any other part of the pitch, that would have been glossed over and not given. Even if it was a penalty, I think people would have been like, "There's not enough in that." And clearly, I think he dived. I'm sorry, I think the Iranian player dived quite clearly. Not a chance. That should have been a red. Although I think Iran got worse after that. So I don't know. I can't see the next game because the next Belgium game is at like 4 a.m. for us. So that is against New Zealand. If Belgium can't beat New Zealand, then obviously they very much don't deserve to go through, and I think they'd know that, and I think it would be better for the end of the golden generation to just die off. England, on the other hand, also frustrating. Ghana, for a very different reason. Ghana were just really, really good and tight, and they just seemed to be like 15 Ghanaians on the pitch at any one point. It was insane how they did, but I think we're very frustrating. We just seemed to lack pace, and we was dawdling. And it sort of seemed the Southgate era was back a little bit, and I'm a bit worried. It made me worried, but there were still some chances, especially towards the end when substitutes were made. I don't think Jed Spence is the answer. I am biased though as a Leeds fan. But I guess onwards we shall see. I hope that's all right, chaps.
So we'll talk England 0, Ghana 0 first. Not every World Cup game becomes a classic, and this were another one, Mike. After the excitement of beating Croatia, England ran into a disciplined Ghana side who defended brilliantly and frustrated them throughout. There were chances, there were moments, even a penalty shout, but Ghana stuck to the task superbly and earned a point in what felt fully deserved for them. England remain in a strong position with 4 points from 2 games in the group, and the only concern is after scoring 4 against Croatia, the handbrake may have been found after all, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, first 45 minutes I was watching Ghana have basically a 1-10-0-0 formation. And there was just no space. You couldn't play around them, you couldn't play through them. There was just nothing to do. So it was a park the bus job for the first 45 minutes. And it's frustrating, but it's one of those where that's a lock. It needs to be picked, and you would expect the manager at halftime to go, "I've seen the problem here," and give them guidance on where they need to go and what they need to do. And then the second half came out, and things started to stretch a bit, and Ghana started to come forward a bit, and the spaces opened up at the back. And then, for whatever reason, we just stopped playing like we played in the Croatia game. all that first half had just seemed to drain everything out of them, and they just went back to the way England used to be, and it was frustrating. It was so frustrating. There was a few chances in there, but you weren't watching a classic performance of, we are that much higher in the world rankings than you, we will pick you apart and take you to pieces. There was just none of that at all, and it's so frustrating.
Still hope. We're still very much in it. Belgium versus Iran. Belgium 0, Iran 0. Game that somehow managed to contain a red card and no goals. Belgium did look more likely winners until Nathan Nagoy was sent off for denying a goal-scoring opportunity, which was controversial, as Nikolai pointed out. From that point on, Iran sensed opportunity. They pushed, but Belgium dug in, and both sides ultimately had to settle for a point. That result leaves Group G beautifully poised heading into the last round of matches. Yeah, all to play for 4 a.m. in the morning. Another game we won't be watching, Mike.
yeah, not at that time in the morning. I didn't get to see the game. I think I saw the highlights on that one, and wasn't the red card. They played the ball forward, and it wasn't on the halfway line, but it wasn't very far into the opponent's half. And then they said that's a denial of a goal scoring opportunity, and it's like, well, hang on a second. There's like half the pitch left to run at this point. Is it really that much of a goal scoring opportunity, or is it he's just taking his legs out on the halfway line? So yeah, bit harsh that one, but I suppose
Harsh and spoiled a good game, unfortunately.
Yeah, if they are consistent with the way they apply the rules, then fair enough. But if this was somebody being a bit overzealous on that occasion, then yeah, that'd be a bit of a disappointment.
So we're catching up again with Sean Woodman. He ended up doing some interview with the BBC, Mike. So he's gone for bigger and better things.
Well, you heard him here first.
But here's Sean. This was straight after the Morocco game. Obviously, there's been a game in between, but we'll hear from him now.
Hi gents, it's Woody here with just some reflections on Scotland's second match against Morocco. Let's start with the obvious. I think we should have had at least one penalty. And the instant on Adams being pulled down the middle of the pitch, for me, is a red card. The ball's clearly in space. He's getting to it first. He's getting there before the keeper. There's a shot on target. Well, there's a shot coming. So for me, regardless of the fact of how far away it was from goal, that should have been a red card. So any of those things happen, potentially Scotland get the point or otherwise that we needed from the game. And you say that Steve Clarke has done it. However, that didn't happen. And therefore, when we go back to, I spoke with you gents before the tournament about not being a massive fan of Steve Clarke. He can't seem to get the best out of the attacking options that we have in the team, and that proved to be the case. I expected him to go defensively. I expected us to go to a back five, and keep it tight and try and sneak something in the end. But that all goes to pot when you concede in the first minute. And I guess his viewpoint was still, well, we keep it tight and we try and snatch something at the end because a draw would still be enough. And yeah, fair enough, maybe you can support that. But he didn't do anything later in the game enough to make it more attacking. Shankland was left on the bench. Gannon Doak was brought on, but I think maybe Finlay Cutters could have been brought on as well. But when you come away from a game like that and you haven't achieved a shot on target, when you need a point to get through, then that's incredibly, incredibly disappointing. And to those people who are not Clarke's biggest fan, myself included, that game hasn't done a lot of credit for him. But let's look at the big picture. We didn't get hammered, which when you concede in the first minute is a massive worry. So we go into the final game against Brazil knowing that even a small loss might still be enough. But we're still in the tournament. So we'll see where things go in the final game. It's going to be a massive one, obviously, coming up. And hopefully Scotland can get the result that takes us over the line. But I've got a funny feeling that it's going to be a case of the game being over and not having a clue whether we're through or not, and having to wait until the rest of the games come to fruition. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, massively disappointed with the game. I think Morocco were happy to just essentially control the game and see out their 1-0 win. We're definitely gonna have to take some more risks against Brazil, I think. So let's see how that pans out. Cheers. Speak to you again soon.
So thanks, Woody. That was Scotland versus Morocco and Brazil. Scotland's World Cup has been a bit of a roller coaster, Mike. The first came a hard-fought win over Haiti that made the Tartan Army dream. Then Morocco arrived and scored after just 2 minutes. Scotland pushed and pushed but couldn't find an equaliser in a 1-0 defeat that left qualification hopes hanging in the balance. And then this week that set up the small matter of Brazil. Unfortunately, Brazil looked like Brazil. Vinicius Junior scored twice. Kuna added the third, and Scotland were beaten 3-0 in Miami as Bex drank red wine, and the 5-time champions topped the group. Even Neymar made a return from injury. The good news, Scotland have still got a chance. They have to wait until Sunday.
Yes, and the Tartan Army has certainly made an impression on America. So there was a bit of a joke going around pre-World Cup of when the Tartan Army come to town, they're going to drink your pubs dry. And then the reports are coming back that they're actually managing to do that. They're going into bars and drinking those bars dry, which is always good. And I've even seen American-produced memes on how to catch your own Tartan Army person. And it's basically a parking cone propped up like a little drop trap. And it's being held up not by a stick, but by a can of Tennant's lager. So...
Oh, that's great. I'm glad they're adding to the economy anyway.
Oh, it's fabulous. And, Scotland is just so full of character. I really, really hope they just get at least into the next round. Even if they come up against, France or somebody like that who they don't stand a chance against, just to have them in another match and get them out on the pitch and playing again and doing the Tartan Army proud. I'd love to see it.
But it's a bit like FA Cup when... Obviously, I'm a Sheffield Wednesday supporter, and I always want us to draw the bigger teams. So if you're going to go out, you may as well play the best. We've played Brazil. Why not play whoever? I hope they get a big team, France's, Germany's. If I'm honest, I don't know how all of these games unfold and who can possibly play who. My mind is blown, but this isn't the podcast for that. You're not in for deep analysis. You're in for some fan reactions. So, I hope they go through as well, Mike. Fingers crossed on Sunday we'll be getting another voice note from Woody being a happy man.
Hopefully so. We'll just have to wait and see.
Until then, I'll see you next time.
Have a great one. Bye.
See you later.